Hi guys, I get a lot of questions when people ask me about batteries. So I want to share my story and my experience. Now, when I was looking at purchasing my batteries, I started asking the installer a million questions about lithium and nickel ion and lead acid and what's the best, and he pretty much said, right, go buy yourself a periodic table, do your own research on the metals, and come back to me and make a decision. And he also gave me a book as well on all the elements, which was a really, really good book. I'll put the link to the book down below. So I went and purchased this book and I started doing some research on the elements. Now we'll start with lithium. Lithium's a very common battery used in your iPhones and phone batteries. So it's a very light metal, and also it falls in a category with some crazy other metals. So lithium's up here, it's number 3 on the element chart. It's a very highly reactive metal. So highly reactive means explosive, bang, kaboom, lots of crazy things happen. So it falls in the same category as rubidium, which rubidium is actually an element known to actually explode with thin air. So it's in that same category of a metal that reacts with air. So myself personally, for my research and looking into lithium, Tesla's battery himself, he says every 10 years he'll take your batteries back off your hand. So they're consumable product. So you'll be buying yourself a new set of batteries every 10 years. To me, that's just crazy because it's a waste of resources every 10 years to replace them. But anyway, they're just an iPhone battery. Do some research yourself and have a look on the element table, see what sort of metals it falls in the same category as, and understand the characteristics of the metal. Personally, I gave an iPhone of mine to a friend, an old phone, and he left it on charge and it actually swelled up and exploded. So yeah, do your own research on lithium and the metal. So now we'll move over to the middle here into nickel and iron. So we've got iron here and nickel, and in between that we've got cobalt. Now, just for an example, cobalt and iron, when you mix those two metals together, they're the two metals that they most commonly make tool steel out of. So it's an amazing, really industrial, tough metal. So that's the only element in between the two. So if you mix nickel and iron together and put those in your batteries, and when they're sitting around playing with all the chemical reactions in your batteries, two really tough metals. There's some stories of these batteries lasting for, well, Edison invented these batteries over 100 years ago, and there's stories of people getting batteries over 80 years and rejuvenating them and just getting them back and they're holding charge. So it's pretty crazy that batteries over 80 years have been rejuvenated and still holding charge. So do some research on nickel iron batteries. They were used in the London Underground to power some trains. They were used in submarines. Lots of industrial heavy-duty uses these batteries have been used in. So for the metal within inside the batteries, they are an industrial metal that potentially is going to last a very, very long time. So do your research into nickel iron batteries. And then we jump over to lead. So we've got lead over here. If you have a look at lead, lead's a soft metal. You know, it's in the same category as tin and uranium and silicon, and it's a very soft metal. So same with lead, when you put it in acid, and that's what happens with lead acid batteries over the time, is the acid eats away the lead and those plates can't conduct and hold energy or charge anymore. So basically, you know, it's a consumable product. When you buy a lead acid battery, you know that it's going to die. Personally, if I had to choose between lead and lithium batteries, I would go lead acid batteries. There are some really good quality lead acid batteries on the marketplace out there. Most batteries these days, the reason they're not that good quality with the lead acid batteries is because they don't put as much lead in them as what they used to. So there are some companies out there that make some really good lead acid batteries, and that actually give a 10-year warranty with lead acid batteries. So yeah, you know, myself personally, I would rather, if I only had the choice between the two, I'd be putting a set of lead acid batteries in over a set of lithium batteries, because like I said, there is companies giving a 10-year warranty on them, which means they'll replace those batteries within 10 years. So they could last you 10 to 15 years or more lead acid batteries. So, and they're not as highly explosive or as dangerous or reactive as a metal lithium. So do your own research and have a look into it yourself. Myself personally, after conducting my research, looking at all the metals on a periodic table and reading the book on elements, I made an educated decision for myself, and I chose nickel iron batteries because of their longevity. That was, to me, safer than the other two options. And, you know, when it come to price, all three batteries, there's only a couple of grand really in between the difference in the price of all of them. And lithium and lead acid batteries are a consumable product. I haven't actually spoke to anyone ever. I've spoke to lots of people in my journey of installing batteries, and no one's ever had to replace a set of nickel-ion batteries. So that's what I do. Recommend, rather than listen to the hype on Facebook and all the marketing material out there, do some cold hard research and go get yourself a periodic table, a book and elements, and look it all up yourself and make your own best educated decision. Thanks, guys.